Good day, everybody. This is James, and today I have a review of the Tabletop Tyrant case, the large one that they do, and yeah. So this is it over here. It's pretty big, and yeah. Let's go over the outside first. So, okay, we have plenty of pockets. None of the outside pockets, though, will do your codex, or your rulebook. That is delegated to inside. But still, outside, I should say a full-size rulebook. A mini one will go in here just fine. Your codex would still have to go inside, though. But we've got one big one on the front, and two little mini ones on top of that. A medium-sized one on one side, and a second medium on the other. It has, as you can see, a carry handle with a plastic grip, pretty hard plastic. It also has a strap. There you go, like so. And it also has a backpack straps, as well as plenty of padding. This is actually quite comfortable for its size, far more comfortable than I thought it would be. And yeah, let's take a look now at what's inside. So I've already put my Chaos Army in this that I've just started collecting. I thought I'd go all out. This particular case is the one that costs just under £100. And I got custom trays, and by that I just mean I selected the trays that actually went in it. Unlike other manufacturers, they don't seem to have any dedicated trays. So like KR, for instance, would give you a dedicated tray for I don't know, Helldrake. Okay, so a very unique looking model, can only go in a certain way. Well, they have a dedicated one for that. Unfortunately, Tabletop Tyrant, as far as I could tell, didn't have that. However, they have some of the best options outside of that I've ever seen, including in their pluck and pick range. So what I ended up getting is a 25 by 25 by 50, a 32 by 32 by, I don't know, 80? No, that can't be right. Give me a second. $50 still. Okay. There. So I got two of those. So 32 by 32 by 50. So I should also say the 25mm holds 40, and then each of the 32s hold, what is it? 36. I should not have to use my fingers for that. But yeah, so that's 72 in total. There is then a 40 by 40 by, it's got to be 60 by now. You know what, I'm gonna take these off. Right, can see that. Okay, so those are my cultists. And I've done a little bit of cutting for some of the unique models, mainly the leaders and the special weapons. Also got one of these. Now it's important that when you're selecting your own, that you take this into consideration. This will not come unless you ask for it. Now if you do it right, you'll pack it as much as it will go with a tiny bit left over, and that's what this is for. Oh. This is a fully decked out tray that is 9 by 4. Unfortunately not 10. This is a pretty big problem for this size of case, and we can blame Games Workshop for that, for setting the standard so that everybody's doing it in 9s instead of 10s, and yeah. But regardless, 3 lots of Chaos Space Marines. We've got a unit of bolters, heavy bolters here. These are actually the giant, massive ones that the Havocs have, and that fits in absolutely fine. There's also then a unit of melee-centric ones. So this is the most awkward one because it does require a bit more cutting. Now, when I said that they had options, the best options, I really meant it. If you do not want to do cutting, then you can actually go for longer ones. So instead of having it be, was it 50, I believe it said, you can actually do like 60, 70, etc. And that wouldn't have any sort of cutting. I believe they also have slightly wider ones as well, although you could potentially put these heavy weapons in 40 mil, and again you shouldn't have to cut, I don't think. I don't particularly want to go look, but yeah, either way, when you are selecting them, there's a huge array of options if you don't want to cut. Myself, I don't see much of a problem with it. This is only going to be used for Chaos Force. If I end up buying another army, I'll just get another case. So if I need to have some dedicated holes, I'll do that. And so that is that. And one that hasn't been used. I also have my Chosen in there as well. That's why it's making up the full 36. Now, one thing about this that I don't particularly like is the amount of waste. As you can see, my bed behind me, there is a gigantic pile of the inserts. I don't see why they should have to come with inserts. You'd think that they'd be able to get rid of it. The reason for it, of course, is fairly simple. They don't want to deal with the waste themselves. It's just frustrating that we have to do it instead. Because, I mean, unless you know exactly what you're doing with, like, terrain making, like, you could use this for terrain making, but I don't know how to do that. I don't have the tools for it. I don't have the time for it. But there's a lot of it. We then have the 40 mil. And in this one, I have done a bit of extra cutting as well. So down there you can see my possessed. One goes in just fine. The other with giant claw, I did have to cut a bit out, but that's why I like putting these sorts of ones on the side. The sides always have a bit extra thickness to cut into. I then cut a little bit up here for this guy's horns so that they wouldn't snag, but he is fine. The Master of Possessions is the most annoying. He does have to go over 2. So I've done a little cubby hole into the wall and he just lays on top. But it's otherwise fine. All of my Havocs went in, no issue. My Champion, my las cannons went in, no cutting required. However, I did cut the auto cannons, so they are very long. And I have enough space in here for another load of Havocs, some Terminators, and then some more HQs. So yeah, I still have the Thunderhammer, the Chaos Lord, the Sorcerer, the Dark Apostle, and is there anything else? Can't really think of anything, but yeah, it's going to be a bit awkward, I think, because I've only got one of these. I might, I don't know. And 40mm is just a bit annoying. It's pretty thick. There's not much I can take away to this particular case. Yeah, I'll try and figure it out later. But I want at least another unit of Havocs. Preferably I would like 10 Terminators, but then I don't know where to put any of the lords, the extra lords. But still, that's my problem, not yours. And then I picked up 2 of these. This is a pick and pluck 100mm in 25mm squares, or kind of oblongs in 25 by 25 by 50. Okay, so this one I'm actually really happy how this came out. So I have, if you can see, there we go. I have a Abaddon, 2 Obliterators, a Hellbrute, a Venom Crawler. Now, as you can see, my Venom Crawler does not have any spikes on it. I'll probably do something to make that a bit more aggressive looking now. I accidentally snapped it when, or snapped one of the spikes when he went in as I was testing. And yeah, I just kind of figured, look, it's going to be way too much trouble. And this way, it goes in and out without any issues. Nothing snags. Whereas if I did it, so at the moment let's see if I can show you. So at the moment I do that. Okay, it just slots in nicely. The other option was to do it like that. However, every single time I do that, I've got to watch out for snagging. And I don't want to do that. And that's kind of precisely why the spikes got mullered there. This isn't the process of being painted, as you can see. So yeah, I'll figure out what to do here. I'll probably just put like some skulls down it or something. And then, yes, there's also enough space for 3 Rhinos side by side. So this is Rhino 1. In another review, I'll be reviewing these Dark Works kits, and that they're really funky. Basically, it's a guy in Canada who does these really good resin things, and this is a Havoc launcher because the one it comes with sucks, and he provides all of the magnets, and it just boop, and it can go there or there, but normally it's like that, and then he has a load of combi bolters that are also magnetized, like so. Because Chaos can actually get 2 combi weapons. So very cool. Highly recommend. But yeah, 3 of those. And that gives it a very efficient loadout. You can't really give it any more efficiency. As you can see, everything, let's just take those out so you can see it better. Everything is one-walled, perfect size. Let's just put those back in. Right, and then I also have another one. Which I haven't used yet. So this is probably going to be used for a Land Raider and some tanks, like probably Predators, maybe another Obliterator. This is going to be my like odd one, I think. A Land Raider, an Obliterator, so I can have 3 of them. Maybe a Demon Prince would go in here. And some other tanks. I've got I really want some Predators, so my guess is Land Raider, 2 Predators, and the last Obliterator. Did I say that right? Predators, Land Raider, Obliterator, and then a section for the Predator weapons. I think that'll work. But yeah, and effectively these are 2 50s just stuck together. So these come in like 50, 60, 85, 75, 100, 120, 200 mils, like a huge variety. So I'm pretty certain that could easily do Titans. Not the big massive ones, but it can do the Knights anyway. And in fact, you know what? A 200 probably will get one of the Moorhound Titans if you wanted it on its side. That would work. Just confirming those are both 100. Yeah, both 100. So yeah, this is just over 2,000 points of Chaos at the moment. So obviously with a couple more Rhinos, and I mean it might just be like 1 extra Rhino and then a Predator. Not really sure, but Rhino chassis at the very least. Oh yeah, please excuse the boxes. That's all of the junk from all of this buying of the Chaos Army. There was like resin bases and all sorts. It's a bit of a mess. Also, we'd like to maybe get an extra Hellbrute So this is the one from the Dark Vengeance. Also, please bear in mind that because these are on resin bases, they're all a little bit taller than most people would have. So, for instance, if that Chaos Lord wasn't on a resin base, I wouldn't have had to snip it. And actually, the same for the Venom Crawler. Actually, you know, if the Venom Crawler wasn't on a base with an extra, let me figure it out. I would say a solid 5mm. The spikes probably would have been fine, and this was a 4x4. Yeah, so that's basically a 10x10x10 square. Oh yeah, these obliterators. So you can get this variant into a 2x2, but the other one will require a 2x3 because of the outstretched arm. I don't think there's anything else to say. Abaddon goes in absolutely fine. Like no issues with him. Like he doesn't really go over the base all that much, but his cloak does a little bit, but you just put the cloak towards the corner and you're fine. As for the feel of the foam, it's, I don't know how to describe it. It's, if you know KR is very soft. This is much harder. It feels a bit crunchy, but not. Like you expect it to feel crunchy from the outside, but when you squeeze it, it doesn't. Yeah, it's fine. It's good. I like it, and yeah, almost certainly I'll be picking up more. So this is the big case. They have one that's half this size. However, it would only ever be used for very small games, and all of their trays are this dimension, so length and width. They don't do any half trays that I could see, even though the 25mm, that is 225 stuck together. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe it's just because it was easier, like it just ended up being cheaper for them to get there and they didn't need the extra space. Like a 9x4 for 32 is difficult, because it leaves basically no foam in between them, whereas with 25 that's not the case. There's tons of room. So yeah. I think that's it. I am done. I am super happy with this, and I will buy it again. Oh, yes, one other thing. Okay, inside the case. So in the back there is the giant section where you can put your codex. Now, I have a bit of a problem with this because it's already tight as it is. and you end up really scrunching it. For instance, like, I'm not sure about, like, some codexes, like Genestealer Cults, they're very thin, they don't have a lot of pages, and they should be largely fine. However, if you were to use something like the new, like, ungodly, like, 200 plus page Space Marine codex that is now out, that is incredibly thick, and I think you will probably either squish your models in a way that you don't really want them to, or your zippers will break. So yeah, not great. I think this is a situation where they could have done this a bit better, in my opinion. If you are to use an app though on your phone, this isn't an issue. But if you don't like apps, then yeah, a better. The thing is, this is the upgraded case, right? This is the one where they said this is version like 2.0. These are all of the improvements. Okay, the front here. Let me bring this around so you can see it. The front here has more than enough surface area to have a codex. However, it just doesn't have the width. Let me find my codex, because this is annoying me now. Technically speaking, I have not tested it, so I could just be speaking out my arse, and maybe it can do it. It doesn't look like it can, I'll tell you that for certain. Right, okay. So this is the 8th edition Space Marine book. So apparently it does have the width, side of the length. Oh, but that is a bloody tight squeeze. Okay, I'm a liar then. There you go. Technically speaking, you can fit it in. However, as I said, thickness is going to matter a lot. This is 192 on a hardback, so that's a considerable amount of width added, so thickness added. And I am sorry, Chaos, for using the blasphemous Space Marine Codex to test this. I still haven't bought my Chaos Codex yet. God, blimmin' hell. Okay. Okay, I'm a liar, so yeah, it fits. It doesn't feel good, mind. And like, here's the thing. If they'd just put an extra centimetre, it would probably feel fine. A centimetre width and length. Oh, blimmin' hell, take that out now. Right. Right, so now we load it up. Again. My two 100s. Followed by my 32s. course, this is a heavy one. I didn't know resin bases were so heavy. This is good though. It gives it a nice big a nice big weight to them. Excuse me. On the tabletop. Stops them from falling over. Right, and now we've got to try and do this up now. And doing it up is pretty tough. Now, I was able to get what is effectively a 100% like fill in this one. You may not always be 100% for your particular wants. Oh, that is blimmin' tough though. Come on. Yeah, so imagine if you were to put the book inside. Right, let's kind of cheese it by going around this way. There we go. Right. And now finally done. Let's put it on the back. Oh. There you go. So, as I said, it's actually quite comfortable. The padding at the back is really nice. It gets to the right spots. Obviously it's very back heavy, it goes out quite far, but if you're walking a fair distance, like you're having to travel like 20-25 minutes by walking, that's actually pretty good. At least for plastic anyway. God knows what it would be like if it was full of metal. So, this, oh blimey, I've just noticed the time. So just coming up to 35 minutes. Yeah, I understand there was a lot of like faffing, but I don't do these sorts of things often. Yeah, end result, very good. I'll buy another. Yeah, couple of downsides. Their website is a bit hit or miss when it comes to actually selecting your own. So you can see how much is being taken up inside, but it doesn't tell you what you've already clicked on. So it took something that was going to be like maybe a half an hour pick, and it ended up being many hours because I just couldn't remember what had gone in. It was actually pretty infuriating. And I say hours, obviously that was also deciding exactly how I wanted to do it. And you know, one of the bigger things was, do I go for a whole extra 100mm pick and pluck or something else? But regardless, highly recommended. Build quality looks good as well. Yeah, that's it. Have a good day. Bye bye.